Heather McAlinn received her Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies from Temple University, following her associate's degree in journalism from Bucks County Community College. She is a past president of the IEEE Livewires Toastmasters Club, earning level 5 in the effective coaching certification. Heather is a motivational speaker, a member of the Bucks County Community College Alumni Council, an endurance athlete, and a fitness ambassador with Tried Out Triathlon Training, Pure Encapsulations, Mind Over Matter Athletes, and Honey Stinger Nutrition. In addition, she is sponsored by The Feed. And here to interview Heather McAlinn is Edith Orenstein. Take it away, Edith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. And it is my pleasure tonight to interview Heather McAlinn, who I met also in 2022, as I did Marsha Ruckus, and then 2022 working at IEEE Livewires, where Heather was president of the IEEE Livewires Toastmasters Club at the time, and so a great mentor and impacting many of us working for IEEE. And Heather has actually a pretty broad background that many of us at IEEE didn't even know about. And so some of those things are really what we'll hear more about tonight as well. And Heather, just for openers, I wanted to ask you if you'd like to share a little bit about your Toastmasters experience, as well as about your life overall, before we dive into some specific areas.
Thank you so much, Edith. It's a pleasure to be here tonight with all of you. Thank you for joining. One of the things that I noticed first with Toastmasters is when I came in as a guest, it really still sticks with me. I was a part-time kickboxing instructor for 12 and a half years. I feel like I did that forever, and I left it behind, and I really miss it. But one of the things that you have to do when you instruct others is constantly talk. No one else is talking, but you're giving directions the whole time. And I noticed that I really enjoyed doing that. I always wished that I had a camera right with me as I was telling people what the next exercise was and stuff like that. Because, for example, I would tell someone, okay, do burpees. They would roll their eyes. They would give me the nastiest look. And when they were done, when class was over and everybody was leaving, hey, that was a great class. Thanks so much. It was just the moment. So I thought to myself, well, this is in fitness level. Well, let me see how this is when I talk to people in the Toastmaster level. So I went in as a guest with a few of my colleagues, and I was to IEEE Livewires. And I sat in there and I decided, these are my people. I like this. The way everything was set up. I enjoyed the discipline of the different roles that everyone had. So I thought it was phenomenal. And fast forward, I was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, in 2017. So that was life-changing with fitness and everything else. This happened when I started to dip into Livewire. So it was around the same time. Very interesting, different dynamic.
Heather, I honestly, much of the time I knew you at IEEE, I didn't even realize that you were impacted by MS. And I know that when we've talked more privately after then, you've mentioned that your fitness experience, what you do in the world of fitness, is actually kind of related to how you're coping with MS. And is that something you can tell us more about as far as how the fitness side of your life relates to the MS journey?
Thank you for that question. One of the things that I like to always do every day is be grateful. You get out of bed, you walk, you're grateful. You can talk, you're grateful. You can see the computer in front of you, be grateful. So one of the things that this disease has taught me is to be grateful for what I can do. And after I saw a series of doctors, they conveyed to me how important it was for me to work out as long as I could. It's really, really good for this condition. Some illnesses, not so much. Something like MS, if you can do it, they want you to. Being more active and non-sedentary definitely works to your benefit with this disease. And I have relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis. There's different stages. I've always felt a strong feeling of gratitude. This brought it 10 decibels higher, 10 decibels higher. So I use that fitness as medicine. And I was teaching classes at this time when this occurred, and I still kept teaching. I had to take a little bit of a break when I was first diagnosed, but I went right back to teaching. And I felt like it made me a better instructor emotionally with people as I taught. Not that I was talking about myself to them, but I felt like anything they had going on, I was right there. I could give them that empathetic ear that an instructor sometimes needs to do. So I felt very well seated with my condition and ways to deal with it.
And the public speaking side, because I know that's a large area of your life as well. Can you tell us more about your involvement in public speaking and coaching?
Absolutely. The coaching comes in with Toastmasters, I think, because I was assigned 2 people for a mentorship when I was president. I believe it was Kayla and Raymond, I think were their names, and they were excellent. I really enjoyed that process of being able to be a mentor on a public speaking level with people. And what's true with doing something like that with the one-on-one, all right, they may be looking to you for advice, but you're learning from them equally. So it's phenomenal. I love that. I think mentorship is great because both people get something from it. It's not a one-way street. It's phenomenal. Another thing that I've done is a podcast. And it was enjoyable for me. And I talked a lot about my MS journey, and it was called You Are Enough. And it was with Angela Hudson. She works with a ministry, and she did quite a few podcasts, and I was among them. Actually, they're on Spotify, and mine was April, I think, of 2024, so it's probably still hanging out there somewhere if anybody feels like listening to it. But I had a phenomenal time, and her and I really connected to one another. I felt like she got me. And she asked questions that kind of all the right questions at all the right times to pull all the information out of me. So I really enjoyed that. Also, I am a alumni council member with Bucks County Community College. I go on the campus for different events. One of the best events was going to graduation last year. Loved it. Loved it. I got to give out pins for alumni pins to everybody that was coming off the stage. Any chance I have to talk, I enjoy. So that for me, being in that environment with those people, I feel like it's very rewarding in terms of speaking and public speaking. Another opportunity that I did get from going into the alumni council, one of the professors that is on the council along with me asked me to come into his class, and I gave a talk to his marketing and business class about grit and motivation and the mental aspect of getting through things in life. That's what I always try to focus on, because I may do a lot of things physically, fitness wise, but I think you have to have the right mindset. And that's true of any discipline to kind of get through different obstacles and speed bumps in life.
This is very true. And so I guess in a way, there's a combination of some of the things Marsha was talking about and some of the things you're talking about. I mean, there's a technical, we can use technology, but then there's also what's inside us and our own motivation and our own grit across the board. Heather, I know something else you've talked to me about is the importance of milestones. And are there certain milestones in your life, achievements, whether it's in fitness, public speaking, coaching, that have been the most meaningful for you so far?
I would say I've done some big things. After I was diagnosed with MS in 2017, because I was still able to work out, I did whatever I could to stay active. So I talked with a few of my friends, and I decided to sign up for my first Ironman. And that was in 2018. And that race consists of a 2.4-mile swim, followed by a 112-mile bike ride, followed by a 26.2-mile run. And it's all in one day. So you don't just sign up for that and do it. You got to train for many, many months. And I think I trained for almost a year when I decided to, take that jump and do that. And it really worked well, because it wasn't just about me. I thought to myself, if I'm going to do something like this, I want to make it about other people. So I chose the Stem Cell Foundation, and they're based out of Kentucky. And they sponsored me, and I raised money for that foundation. I actually wore the triathlon suit with their logo on the back when I was running in the Ironman. So it felt great to make this experience not just about me, but about everybody else, because so many people are affected by diseases where a stem cell can really help improve quality of life.
I think that relates to something else that we've talked about as far as sometimes you mentioned there's a special meaning behind the miles when you're training and participating in a race. What is that special meaning?
You hit the nail on the head with that question, Edith. The message is about doing for others while you're helping yourself. So I've done several different races. I did 2 full Ironmans, very blessed for that experience, very humbling, very humbling. I've done 3 marathons and 1 ultra, only 1 ultra. And every single one of them, I've put a message behind it. For MS in particular, I did this is in New Jersey, the City to Shore race. It's a 175-mile bike MS race. And in one day, I went 100 miles from Philadelphia to Ocean City, New Jersey. They kind of took us around different ways so we get the 100 miles in. And then the next day I woke up, stayed over a hotel, and then I rode back 75 miles. So the whole thing was 175 miles. And I raised money for MS while doing that, for the MS Society. And I received a plaque as a token of appreciation for raising money. So that was a great experience. When I did my second Ironman, I chose to put the focus on the American Cancer Society, and I raised money for that. And I had 2 women, their names were written on my arm with Sharpie before I started to swim in the first leg of the Ironman, and they passed away from cancer. One of them was one of my clients that I had in kickboxing, and the other one was one of my hairdressers. So I had a relationship with both of them in a very different way, and I wanted a way to honor them. I saw them the whole day, no matter what I was doing. That Sharpie, their names are written on my arm. So I love that. And the fact that people were donating before I did the race, during the race, it isn't about the money. It's kind of about bringing awareness to what's going on. So I love that. A lot of people were very appreciative of that. So those are some things that meant a lot to me. One more thing that I did is the 4x4x48 race. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of David Goggins. He does some public speaking. He is actually a retired veteran, and he is very strict with his exercise. He means business. So he developed a program called 4 hours of 4 miles, or 4 miles, every 4 hours for 48 hours straight. And you had to go all the way for 48 hours doing all those miles. So I decided to raise money. I would be running at 2 a.m, 4 a.m, go all day, I'll go all night. I did it over a weekend's time, and I raised a lot of money. And I did this for soldier suicides, which we need to bring awareness to. A lot of people were very interested in it. Even if people didn't donate, I brought awareness to it, and I love that.
That's incredibly meaningful, Heather. And it's a way that you brought people forward that they're still with you who passed away from cancer. I wanted to ask you about an award you received called the Roar Award. And that was from your high school, I believe. And can you tell us more about that and the experience of receiving the award?
Yes, I was completely shocked. My daughter got a phone call. It was great that they called her. And she got a hold of me and said, "Hey, Mom, you won something." And I was thinking to myself, well, was it coupons at Giant? Did I win some kind of grocery prize? Like, what's going on? And it was interesting to find out what it was. So they chose me to be the recipient of a distinguished honor for community impact at my high school. This was the second time they've done it. It was for the alumni of the high school. So I was floored because once I graduated, I had good feelings about high school. But once I graduated, you move on, you go to the next step. So I didn't think about that part of my life so much. And they gave me that award. And when I arrived there that night to give my speech to recognize, thank you so much for giving me this, it all came back. It all came back. Some of the people in the audience were people that I went to high school with, and I mentioned them on stage because they were right there with me at graduation. So it was amazing to have that connection with everyone. And then I was very surprised by many people that are friends of mine that didn't go to school with me, but have known me along the way. They showed up and were in the audience. So I thought, how amazing is this? How blessed am I to have this opportunity? And I talked about some of the fitness stuff that I've done, much like I did here. And it wasn't really about me and fitness. It was about what I could do for other people, not just a self thing. It was about everyone else. So I really, really enjoyed that experience. Thank you, Edith.
You really shared a lot with us tonight about your grit, Heather, and how you try to inspire other people. That means a lot, I think, to me, and I think probably to all of us. And I just wanted to ask, are there any closing comments you want to talk about anything we already talked about or anything we didn't talk about?
That's a great question, Edith. There is something I'd like to mention, and it's something that happened to me this morning, which is so cool because it kind of links together, almost like it was meant to be. I was listening to a speaker this morning, and he was talking about success. That was his frame of mind. That's what the whole thing he was talking about was success. And I thought, this is great. I could really relate to everything he was saying. And success is so different for all of us. It does not mean the same thing for one person than it does to another. There's different levels. I don't even know if you can measure it the same way. So what he said was, and I'll give him credit for this, Speaker Josh said, everybody raise your hand. So if you guys want to raise your hand, just naturally, go for it. So we all did this. And he said, okay. He said that's success, right? And he brought his hand up. And he made us raise our hands up. And he's like, there's always something to reach for. And I found that very impactful for me because to think to yourself, well, I've reached this area, this level. I've done many races, and you get a little bit sad sometimes when you're done a race because you're like, oh, great. What am I going to do now? I've been training for months. It's over. There's always something more to strive for. Maybe it's not in the same direction. Maybe you get redirected, but it's very important to always know that you can strive higher for anything in life. So I like to always let people know that it's important to be your best self in every moment and value others and become a great active listener, which is something I strive for every day. I'm still learning, but I think it's very important. So thank you so much, Edith.
Thank you, Heather, for sharing with us your experiences, very personal, and what you do professionally as well. It's been very inspiring to listen to you tonight, and thank you so much again. And I turn it back now to Mr. Hostmaster.